I am Chris Biffle, and welcome to another broadcast of Teaching Challenging Kids, the special series produced by WholeBrainTeaching.com, and tonight's broadcast is WBT, the first hour. So my friends, let's just get this ball rolling. Let me know if you're hearing me and seeing me out there. This is live. It is July 24th, and WholeBrainTeaching.com is practiced in 30 foreign countries. We used to have 60,000 members, well, we got 70,000 now. 2 million views of our YouTube, 10 million pages of free downloads. As Biffy B says, one of the world's most popular education websites. Thank you, Biffy B. You're welcome, Coach. Good to be here tonight. Very important night. That's right, Biffy. We got to have some information before we get started here. So here are my two friends, Biffy Bluebird and Bobby Bluebird. Biffy Bluebird says, what if someone wants a copy of these slides or professional development credit? Thank you, Biffy. Oh, you're welcome, Coach. Bobby, what do you have to say? Easy breezy. Details are at the end of the program. Let's talk about a brand new feature of Whole Brain Teaching, certification. You too can be a Whole Brain Teaching board certified instructor. You will get our stamp of approval. And it doesn't cost a cent, 100% online, 24/7, and once you achieve Whole Brain Teaching certification, we will give you a letter of recommendation for your professional resume, and if you keep on climbing up the certification ladder, you can become a WBT mentor, a WBT district presenter, a WBT national presenter, a Whole Brain Teaching international presenter. It looks like I'm going to South Africa here in September. Last year, we did our thing in Istanbul, Turkey. Climb the ladder. How do you climb the ladder, my friends? Let me tell you. Let's look at our website. Right in the middle of the website, there is a certification document right here. And all you have to do is click on it. You can page through it. Up here, download it. Here is the question for certification tonight. What are the strengths and weaknesses of Whole Brain Teaching's first hour? Post your answer on the forum at WholeBrainTeaching.com under the topic WBT Certification Webcast, the first hour. You can get from 50 to 75 points for your answer. Where are you going to post it? Let me show you, my dear friends. Right here it says WBT Certification Webcast, the first hour. Post it there. Also, before the end of the night, go to the grade level Facebook pages. We'll talk about that in a second. We've got all of the beginning stuff out of the way. We are ready to rock. Here we go. It's JJ Jive. WBT sounds great, but how do I start? Oh my goodness, JJ Jive, you are pulsating with worry. Let's talk about how to start. Get off to a good start. I'm going to show you the steps. You tweak them. If you're middle school, you're high school, you're special ed, you're pre-K, use this template, whatever you can, tweak it and change it. But I've got a couple of ideas here that I think will work K to graduate school. I'm calling my shot right now. First thing we have to do is, before school even starts, get the room set up. Room design. The WBT walls. Now, on the whiteboard, you're going to have your scoreboard with rule number 1, follow directions quickly. Also on the whiteboard, you're going to have the words, this morning's lesson, and you're going to say what you're going to cover. On the other walls, get up the Super Improver wall, language arts, math, Power Picks grid, the 5 rules, and other WBT signs. Now, let's just stop for a second. You're brand new. You don't know what the Super Improver wall is. There's videos on it in the middle of the web page. Download our ebooks. Download Designing Your Whole Brain Teaching Model Classroom. You don't know what the Power Picks are. They're in the ebooks, free ebooks. You want to know about the rules, other WBT signs. It's all online, or ask questions on the forum. So you get your room set up. Of course you do. Now, here's the question from Nervous Nelly. Oh no, the first 10 minutes! Isn't that the question? What do we do in the first 10 minutes? I've got a huge live audience here, my friends. What do you do in the first 10 minutes? Let's just have some answers fly. What's the first lesson you teach? And even more, where do you teach it? Where are you standing at when you teach the first lesson, the first words out of your mouth? Many of you are on the right track. I'm going to have some California cool, but I have a little tweak for you. My friends, check it out. Would you just check it out? You teach your first lesson in the hallway, outside your room, where you got the kids lined up. Before they even go into the sacred space, you're going to teach a lesson in the hallway. You see, we're talking nitty-gritty. What do you do before you let them in the room? How do you get them in the room? What do you do once they're in the room? Second by second. Tell me this. Hat's coming off. St. Louis Cardinals hat. St. Louis boy, you know I'm serious if I take off this hat. Glasses coming off. Can you dig breaking it down to minute by minute? Tell me, my online friends. Glasses coming back on. Putting on the Cardinal hat. Break it down. Minute by minute. Yes. Oh, I see people digging it. Molly O. Beowulf man, yes. You say meet the children at the door. I say you stand outside the door and get them lined up. Do it your way, but listen to my way. Is that a fair deal? Here we go. You line students up outside and you say in a firm, happy, commanding voice, please look at me. Stop there. That's the first thing you say. Please look at me. When you say, please look at me, you will get some kids looking at you who weren't looking at you before. Boom! You're already ahead of the game. You with me? Please look at me. Let me see your faces. That's the first words in the hallway. Then you say, I'm Chris Biffle. I'm Nancy Stoltenberg, and I'm delighted you are here. Please look at me, tell them your name, and tell them how happy you are that they're there. Let's start it nice and keep it nice. And notice you said, please look at me. Rochelle, tweak it as you want to, but I wouldn't mind if the parents were there too. Right there in the hallway, you start with your class yes. I'll show you how to do that. You say class, they say yes. We'll get into that. And you tell the students right there in the hallway that whenever you say yes, whenever they say yes, their hands need to be folded in the listening position. When you say yes, please fold your hands in listening position. You'll get some kids folding their hands in the listening position before you even get into the room. Why do you want this? Because hands are distractors. You're going to get questions, and you keep saying the magic words. I'll answer questions later. Don't stop. The train has left the station. We're not going to stop for questions unless we absolutely have to. So that's what you're going to do outside the classroom. Now you can do this in the classroom. You do it your way. It's your school. You have your rules, your principles. Take what I'm telling you and tweak it, improve it, throw it out the window, or adopt it. All right, so that's my notion. I want to get as much organization as I can before we even let them into the classroom. Now, let's talk about how the class yes goes. You say, when I say class, you say yes. And then you just pause. Class, 80% of your kids will say yes. However I say class, you say yes. Class, class. 80% of your kids will say yes, yes. And then be funny. Classity, classity. 80 to 90% of your kids will say yesity, yesity. So, my friends, you are right that you start with a class yes. I just suggest you start with it after you say look at me, after you say your name, in or out of the classroom. And now you're ready to take them into class. Let's check it out. Moving them into the classroom. Usher them into the room and get them seated as quickly as possible. Keep using the phrase please. Point kids at seats and tell them to keep their hands folded. Observe who follows directions. Praise for following directions. Keep saying, we'll assign permanent desks later. Here's my thinking. You don't know their names. You can't match names to faces yet. Let's make that a lesson a little bit later. Let's get them into the classroom seated with their hands folded as quickly as possible. You go here, you here, 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 here. Please sit down, keep your hands folded. Get them seated as quickly as possible. Or point them where they should be. Please don't sit down yet. I'll tell you when to sit down. All right, now everybody be seated. There is a view that you meet them at the door and you shake their hand and you introduce yourself and then you get them around to their seat and you get them a name tag. I want to create a brisk atmosphere with no wasted time, lots of pleases, lots of smiles, and efficient, so that they get the feeling, this is not like any other class I've been to. All right, now, I see a lot of people agreeing with me online. Let's look at what's on the whiteboard. What's on the whiteboard? Your name in the upper left corner. Smiley, frowny, and underneath the scoreboard, Rule 1, follow directions quickly. Over here is the date. Then you have this morning's lesson. The first lesson is already done. You taught him the class yes. The second lesson is Rule 1, follow directions quickly. The third lesson is the scoreboard. The fourth lesson is practice Rule 1. The fifth lesson is learn the students' names. And the sixth lesson is practice Rule 1 again. Do you notice any emphasis? Wait, let's go to the 2D mix. I'll go 3D mix on you even. What is being emphasized as the big lesson in the first hour? What's being emphasized is Rule 1. Follow directions quickly. That's the big lesson in the first hour. We're going to get to it in a bunch of different ways. All right, let's look at the screen. Always give them a feeling that there's no time to lose, because there isn't. So Biffy Bluebird says, you and the kids are in the room. Above is what is on your whiteboard. Point out that they've done a great job. They've already learned class yes. Boom, they already learned something before they even sit down. Now, next step. You stand in front of the room and you do the class yes a few more times. Sound happy, confident, commanding. Quickly review the morning lesson. Don't spend a lot of time. Just read down the list. This is the morning lesson. And then you're ready to teach Rule 1. Follow directions quickly. Here we go. So you're hardly in the room for a minute when you're already teaching Rule 1, and you teach it this way. Rule 1 is follow directions quickly. When I say Rule 1, you say follow directions quickly. Rule 1, and they say follow directions quickly. Do that a couple of times. It's fun. It gets you in a back and forth teaching pattern, which is fundamental to whole brain teaching. I talk, you respond. Rule 1, follow directions quickly. If we can get them in the first hour to follow directions quickly, how far ahead are you in the spring? I've talked to hundreds, thousands of teachers. They still have trouble getting kids to open their books in May and June. Come on. We're going to teach them to open their books in the first hour. Yes, Daisy D, we're going to the three-peat in the first hour. So we taught Rule 1. Here is the sign that's available on our store. Notice the cultural diversity. And you got them all up or one up or whatever. Whatever it is, teach the first rule. We say the first rule should be follow directions quickly. Here's how you start. You say class, they say yes. You've already taught them that. I'm now going to teach you one of the 5 classroom rules. Rule 1 is follow directions quickly. Make the gesture and pause. When I say Rule 1, you say follow directions quickly. Rule 1. Students say follow directions quickly. But let's try that again, but be fast. And you go over and over. Now, some of you are asking, is this all on the website? No, but it will be. After this broadcast, we'll post the video on the website, and for a nominal donation, I'll send you a PDF of all of these slides. Give me an oh yeah. All right, now, so you're taught Rule 1. Where are you? Let's look at where you are in your lesson plan. You have done class yes. You are reviewing Rule 1. You've taught Rule 1. But now let's practice Rule 1. In a brisk voice, give Rule 1 commands. Look up, look down, raise one hand, put it down, raise both hands. Sound happy, confident, commanding. Praise individual kids and groups for speed. You see what we're doing? Teach the rule, practice the rule, tell the kids some things to do. All right, rule 1 is follow directions quickly. Raise your hand, put it down a little faster. Raise both hands, put them down. Fold your hands, look over here, look down. Follow directions quickly. Rule 1, up-tempo. Kids like up-tempo. That's why they like video games. You're going to be a living video game. Make it exciting. Boom, boom, boom. Middle school, high school, pump it up. Maybe you turn on some music. No, don't turn on some music, because whatever music you turn on, some people won't dig it. Let's go back to the screen. So, you taught the rule, and you've given practice following the rule. Check it out. Here's an important point. Get buy-in on the rule. Explain why you've chosen Rule 1. It will create a fun, organized classroom. You're not using the scoreboard yet, my friends. Ask for a show of hands. Raise your hand if you think Rule 1 would be good for us to follow. You see, you're asking them to do some simple things for them to do to get them to do what you're always going to be asking them to do. You say class, they say yes. You say Rule 1, they say follow directions quickly. You say show of hands, they say show of hands. Lots of little quick instructions to get them used to responding to you and seeing you are the center of fun. You're the center of the fun universe. Boom, 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 boom. Ada, 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 ada. You add your own ada, adas. So you ask for a show of hands, and no matter the result, the rules will have almost every child support say, I think it will be a good idea to start with this rule. We can make changes later if we need to. So, Rule 1, practice a little bit, get some buy-in. Why is buy-in important? You know why buy-in is important. But Biffy Bluebird poses the rhetorical question. Why is buy-in important? Later in the year, when correcting a student in private, you say, remember, we all voted on these rules. You with me? These are our rules. Be willing to change the rules, but you know what? You won't have to. Get buy-in for every rule. Now, no, you do not teach all 5 rules in the first class, my friends. We're just talking about what to do in the first hour. Now let's go to the next screen. This morning's lesson, now we're ready for the scoreboard. After you've practiced Rule 1 with a bit of practice, then go to the scoreboard. Here's the scoreboard. You give smiley points for positive behavior, frowny points for negative behavior, and as an initial reward, this is up to you, 1 minute more or less a recess. Here's my current thinking on this. I wouldn't even talk about rewards or penalties, even in middle school or high school. Just get them to see smileys are nice, frownies are not so good. You can introduce rewards and penalties later. But if your intuition tells you, this is a pretty rowdy class, then you go with 1 minute more, 1 minute less a recess. And of course, they're going to lose a minute of recess. So you teach them. When you're doing good, I'll make a mark under the smiley side, and you're going to go, oh yeah! You want it crisp and sharp. As soon as the hand goes down, oh yeah! When I put a mark over here, frowny. Oh! The frowny, as you'll see in Farrah Shipley's video, is crisp and sharp with her kindergartners. We don't want to drag it out. All right. Tell me what you're liking so far. I'm going to take some California Clear. All right. Now we're ready to fold the 2 lessons together. Now you're going to practice Rule 1. You got Rule 1. They did a little practice. You got the scoreboard. Now you combine Rule 1 and the scoreboard. Doesn't that make sense? I'm taking off my hat. I'm taking off the glasses. Yes, I'm bald, but I'm happy. All right, listen. It's called scaffolding. You teach one thing, you teach another, then teach both of them together. Now that you've got the scoreboard up, you've got a motivator for following directions quickly. Oh yeah, my friends. Let's look at how you're going to do this. Now this screen has lots of words. I'll go slow. Next, augmented by the scoreboard, give more Rule 1 practice. Stand up, too slow, mighty groan. Sit down, a little slow, another mighty groan. Now you have to be really fast. Stand up, great job, mighty oh yeah. Emphasize that the mighty oh yeahs and mighty groans should be crisp and sharp, quickly ended. Stop. Say, Rule 1. Students repeat the rule and make the gesture. Cycle back to step 1 above. So that's how you do it. Now you're going to go over to the scoreboard. You've got your marker in your hand. Now you give directions. And first couple are slow. I don't care how fast they are. Mighty groan. Oh, louder. Mighty groan. Everybody sit down. That was very good. Mighty oh yeah. This is the mighty oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're going fast, but you're repeating a lot. And that's what gets the kids. Pacing and repetition builds dendrites. And it's fun, fun, fun. That's how you're going to use the scoreboard with Rule 1. All right. Now check this out. Now you're ready to learn student names. Yes. Learn student names. Here's Nervous Nellie. How do I learn student names? Oh, my friends. Check it out. I don't care what grade level you teach. I've had as many students in one day as any of you. I taught college. 5 sections in one day. I'm talking 150 to 200 students. How did I learn their names? Well, I had a little trick for learning names on the first day. I probably shouldn't reveal it, but I will reveal a trick for learning student names on the first day. But I got to get some pleading, some please. You want the trick to learn student names? Let me hear it. Even if you got hundreds of names to learn, there's, the pleas are pouring in. All right, I'll tell you. You guys are great. You guys are great. Here's the deal. Here's how you do it. Now, you say, because you've taught the scoreboard, you've taught Rule 1, emphasize how quickly everyone must respond. You say, when I point at you, quickly say your name. No matter how the child responds, say louder, please. Let's just stop there. We don't want baby or mousy voices in pre-K, and we don't want them in college. So if you just say, louder, please, if your voice goes up, their voice will go up automatically. So do that with a few of the kids. In fact, if you have a bold kid, louder, please, he'll say, 1. So do it as your teacher's intuition says. But you're pointing at a kid, they say the name. Now here comes a trick. Watch me. Then you say, if a kid is shy, skip him. Point at a few kids. Then say, repeat after me. You point at the kids and you say their names. Your class repeats the names. And continue until you have the first few kids' names firmly in your mind. So you're going to say, it's this routine. I point at you, say your name. The kid says his name. Point at you, say your name. Kid says his name. Why don't you say your name? You learn 3 kids' names. You say, now, everybody repeat after me. Juan, Juan. Mary, Mary. Jose, Jose. Juan, Juan. Mary, Mary. Jose, Jose. Here's the trick. When you forget a kid's name, you say, who is this? As if you knew the name, someone in the class will remember the name. You see the routine? Point at a kid, review the names, get choral response, and you keep going back, point, 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 point. When your mind goes blank, you say, come on now, who's this? They tell you. If you review enough, 3 and then 2 more and then the first 5 and then a couple more and then the first 5, 6, or 7. If you keep that cycle going and have the kids remind you of, no, they're not reminding you, have the kids identify, you can learn, and I've done it over and over again, 35 names in the amount of time that it goes through to get every name. This takes 5, 7, 8 minutes. The other thing is, my friend, you have your Super Improvers wall up, and on the Super Improvers wall, you have every kid's name. You've seen the names. You've seen the roll sheet. You've got them up there. Now, here's the trick again. Here's the trick. If you forget a child's name, don't admit it. Say, who is this? Someone always remembers. Finish up with a review of all names and say them yourself in a masterful demonstration of your memory. It works, my friends. And you know what? Even if it doesn't work, you can pretend like it worked. So you get through, you got 7 or 8 names, say, all right, my friends, who's this? That's right, it's Mary. And who's this? That's right. Very good. Now, who's this person back over here? Jose. This is blah, blah, Mary, and this is, and you just work through it that way. You see the beauty of that? You learn their names, and then, first recess, you put the names on the kids' desk, the name tags, and then they're going to come in and sit in the right place. Let's look at our next screen. One more time on this memory trick. The memory trick is whenever you forget a name, anytime during the day, say, class, quickly tell me who this is. As if you know, kids will help you without realizing it. All right. Now let's see where we are in our morning lesson plan. Here's our morning lesson plan. And now we're at step 6. It's time for heavy duty Rule 1 practice. Let's learn classroom procedures with the 3-peat. Notice how we're coming back over and over and over again to Rule 1. What is the 3-peat for you newbies? Here it is. Weaving Rule 1 into daily instruction. Follow directions quickly. You use a 3-peat with a countdown. You say papers, they say papers, papers, papers. You say lines, they say lines, lines, lines. You say seats, they say seats, seats, seats. You say science 46, they say science 46 over and over again. What do I mean? I mean that you're going to say, you all have your books under your seat. I'm going to say, math book 42. You pretend like you get out the math book, and you pretend like you open it to 42. When you get it open, you're like this. Woo! Keep saying woo until I call you back. So I say math book 42. They say math book 42, math book 42, math book 42. They open the imaginary book. Woo! Math book away, math book away, math book away, math book away. They put the imaginary book away. Woo! Use imaginary books. Use imaginary paper. Use imaginary pencils. Why do you use imaginary? Because if you use real ones, it won't go quickly, crisply, and smoothly. Hand out imaginary papers, or hand out a real stack of papers. Stack here, stack here, stack here. I say papers. They say papers, papers, papers. The papers go out as quickly as possible. If they're extra papers, they're slowly waggling them over their head. You don't have a paper? Like a hawk on a fat gopher. Go get where that extra paper is, and all the papers come in to a place on your desk. My friends, this is all described for you in Teaching Challenging Kids, a free ebook. So read about it, get the slides, but practice the three-peat. Line them up. Listen to me. Listen. Hat off, classes off. You do not teach them how to line up when you want them to line up. When you want them to line up, you have another mission, getting them outside. You teach them how to line up when that's the only thing you've got on your mind. Teach them how to line up. Teach them how to sit down. Teach them how to enter the classroom. Every procedure, this first hour, use the scoreboard. Rule 1, follow directions quickly. Nail the procedures down. It's a foundation for the whole year. That's what you should be doing in the first hour. Lay the foundations for the whole year. What foundation have you laid? Let me get the glasses back on as I calm down. You've laid the foundation that you are fun, that the tempo is up-tempo, that everything you ask them to do is doable and easy, that when you say class, they say yes, that Rule 1 is so important, that it applies to so many different things, and that we all learn each other's names in the first hour. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Tell me right now, my online audience, if you're digging it to the maximum of diggingness. I am just going to see if we are all on board here. Now, all right, everybody is digging it, man. Check it out. Thank you. Big point. All during the day, mark the scoreboard emphasizing Rule 1. You should have a minimum of 10 total marks by the end of the first hour, if not more. You with me? Use the scoreboard. You got the tools, use them. All right, here's our review. You taught the class yes in the hallway, and then you used it all through the first hour. You showed the first rule with the gesture. You gave a little bit of practice with fun things to do. You showed the scoreboard. Then you folded Rule 1 and the scoreboard together. Practice Rule 1 some more with smileys and frownies. Then you used Coach B's memory trick to memorize those names. And then you hit them with the three-peat. That is a wonderful first hour. By the end of the first hour, your kids should know class yes, the scoreboard, some student names, and receive tons of reps in Rule 1 and started to master classroom procedures. Wow! And the mastery of classroom procedures is, I'm sorry, here it goes again. The failure to master simple classroom procedures is one of the greatest failings of American education. Yes, I said it. Quote me on it. Your kids can't open a stinking book to the right page by the end of the year. Whose fault is it? It's the bleary-eyed person who stares at you from the mirror in the morning. Nail it down the first hour. If you're guilty of not teaching your kids how to line up, sit down, hand papers in, hand papers out, get their names on paper, just say mea culpa, however you want. It's not a spelling test. That's Latin for I'm the bleary-eyed person that's responsible for that problem. You are so right. Yes, my friends, we can do this. We can do it. Just follow our directions and get some help. Here it is. Next week, the first days. And the week after that, simple lesson plans. Whoa! We talked about the first hour. Next week, the first days. And week after that, simple lesson plans. That's the trifecta, my friends. And you will not be able to wait to start school. You'll be there at midnight teaching imaginary kids. Yes, Susan Floyd, good to see you online here. Here's our nervous Nellies. What will we do if we miss that? You know, you need to get the lesson on the first days. All right. Now, some of you want a copy of these slides. Here's Ms. Linenthal.
Hi, Coach B.
Hello, Ms. Linenthal. How's that cold?
Oh, much better, Coach. I was a little sick last week.
Well, Ms. Linenthal, what do you have to say?
Gosh, this sounds great, but how could I get professional development credit for this broadcast and a copy of these slides?
I'll tell you. This is how you do it, Ms. Linenthal. You go to wholebrainteaching.com.
Okay, Coach.
Click on the PayPal button and donate $5.32. 532 is the code number for this program. Before long, sometimes within minutes, if you're lucky, you'll get an email with a professional development certificate and a PDF copy of those slides.
Professional development certificate?
Yes, Ms. Linenthal, here it is. You get this in an email, and it has that on it, and you can use that for professional development credit.
Now, how do I pay again, Coach? I didn't quite catch that.
Ms. Linenthal, let me help you out. Here I am. I'm at Whole Brain Teaching. Right up here is the PayPal. You put in $5.32. That automatically sends me the message that you want program 532. I send you a PDF. Actually, I send you a link to a PDF so it gets there super fast. Now, listen to me, my friends. Listen to me. Listen. Listen. Listen to me. The next thing I want you to do, if you would like to make the coach happy, go to the Facebook pages for grade level. I put them right here for you. They're fantastic. Look, I'm clicking here. Here's all the Facebook pages for grade level. We're taking 6th grade as part of middle school, special ed, high school, middle school. Go to those Facebook pages, sign up, and start talking to each other. Let's build grade level teams. If you're not on Facebook, get on Facebook. Build grade level teams and talk about what do you do the first day? What do you do with a kid who? Talk about special topics at grade level. It's professional learning community opportunity. Yes, my friends. Help each other out. If we would just help each other, we'd have a new nation. You understand what I'm saying? We know how to do it, but we don't know how to do it together. You got some good ideas. Your friends got some good ideas. You're all interested in whole brain teaching. Share it. No more islands. You know how to do it. Let's learn how to do it together this year for free. Can you dig free? The next thing I want you to do is, I want you, and I'm going to haunt you in your dream tonight, my friends. Yes, you're going to see this face, this bald head. You're going to hear Ms. Linenthal.
Remember, Coach B said you're supposed to do this.
I want you to write about this webcast and start earning certification points. You need 700. You can earn 50 or 75, but read the certification document. Yes, EV Miles, I know you. Read the certification document. Start pursuing certification now. Let's build the movement. Welcome to the revolution. Give me an oh yeah. My friends, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm about to wrap up. Start with the First Steps menu. Download the ebooks, view the videos, get the PDFs. You want an on-site presentation, get an administrator to send me an email. Tough name to remember, Chris Biffle, wholebrainteaching.com. But here is tonight's sermon. Here's the rant. Every once in a while I rant. Here's my rant. You got this Facebook guy, and see, when you're retired, you're off the leash. You can say whatever you want. You got this Facebook guy, made billions of dollars. No problem there. He's donating $500 million to New Jersey schools. I think just to Newark, with the notion that they need to come back with $500 million matching. No problem there. Here's Coach B's problem. What are you going to do, Mark Zuckerberg, when the money runs out? You cannot buy education reform. You can't write a grant for education reform. Martin Luther did not write a grant for the Protestant Reformation. The leaders of the Catholic Church did not buy the Counter-Reformation. Martin Luther King did not pay people to go sit at the lunch counters. Education reform, education revolution comes from passionate hearts who've learned how to share a vision. You've got the superintendent of Washington, D.C. schools. Doubtless a great woman. She resigns from that position to start an organization. She says we're going to raise $1 billion for schools. Swell. Coach B wants to know, what are you going to do when the money runs out? Because the money will run out. Reform has got to be free and voluntary. Can you dig that? Free and voluntary. And it has to come from passionate commitment, not from a paycheck or a dollar bill. Never forget these words. A small group of people are the only ones who've ever changed the world. So don't doubt that we and others united with us can do it. We've got the internet broadcasting our voices over 1 million-fold. We're doing it. We'll keep doing it. And check it out. We don't even have ads on our website. Yes, my friends. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing that we're doing. We will see you next week. And as we say, power to the teachers. Coach B signing off. God bless us all. See you next week, my friends.